Okay, so I recently posted a video of some things you can do to help your horse work off their back end, and in that video I talked about how important it was for your horse to back off the bridle just by taking a hold of them and using your legs to bump them back off the bridle instead of pulling. And I had a few people respond to me, and one wanted to know how they can work on their stop, and two, they wanted to know how they can teach their horse to respond to the bumping, because of course a lot of people are going to take a hold of their barrel horses and try to bump them back, and their horse is just going to come up in the front end. So you kind of have to ease into that. So I'm going to try to cover this quickly. There's going to be, again, 3 different things that I'm going to break down here. The first one is, the first step in anything is being able to take a hold of your horse and them give their face. So I'll kind of show you that on her. Second thing, I'm going to go over the stop. And third thing, I'm going to go over how you can ease your horse into using your legs to back them up instead of using your hands. This is a 3-year-old that was raced a couple times, so she's off the track. She's not going to be perfect for this, and that's kind of why I used her. Of course, when she's on the track, they pull. When they pull, the horse is supposed to go faster, so it's been kind of a challenge with her. And that's actually why I have the bit that I have on her face. Is it's going to have a little bit of a different feel for her versus just a plain snaffle, which is pretty much what she was probably raced in. Okay, so anyways, step 1 is to get your horse to give their face anytime you take a hold of their bridle, just like this, okay? If your horse, when you take a hold of their face, puts their face in the air, you can't go on. You have to fix that before you can start working on getting a better stop or getting your horse to work off their back end or anything. I mean, the first step is, if you take a hold of your horse, they have to give their face. Basically, when you take a hold of a horse and they don't give their face, you keep a hold of them, okay? You set your hands up here and you keep a hold of them and you drive them forward until they give their face. Most of the time, they give it on accident, even if it's just for a split second. Just they give their face and then they put it back up in the air. Give them back their face. Even if they give to you on accident, give them back their face. Let them go a couple circles, then take a hold of them again until they give you their face, even if it's just on accident. So we're gonna go right into the stop now. When I stop these young horses, I don't just take a hold of them and stop them. I actually take a hold of their face about 2 or 3 strides before I'm going to ask them to stop, so that I already have their face. And then instead of pulling back when I stop them, I kind of just set my hands and I kind of lock my arms at my hips. So I'm going to trot around here and show you that a couple times. I'm going to first take a hold of her face, and then I'm going to set my arms at my hips instead of pulling back to stop. I'm already going to have a hold of her face, and then boom, I'm going to stop her and back her up. So I'll show you this a couple times right here. Okay, taking a hold of her, then I just set my hands. Okay, then I'm going to use my legs and bump her back. Whenever you stop your horse, this horse is pretty used to backing up right away, so she's going to back up as soon as I stop regardless. But when you take a hold of your horse's face and then ask them to stop, give them back their face and let them take a little breath before you do back them up, okay? I'm going to show you this a couple more times. So her head is in the air right now. I'm going to take a hold of it, and then I'm going to ask her to stop, okay? Now she's backing up on her own. I'm going to let her relax for a minute, and then I'm going to take a hold of her face, make her give it to me, and then bump with my legs to back her up. Show you. this horse naturally, when I throw her reins away to her, she naturally kind of wants to pick her head up a little bit. When I have my reins thrown away, I don't really care too much what they do with their head. As long as it's not like right here or way too far down low, I don't care. All I care about is that they give me their face when I take a hold of them. So it's good to practice collection and then throwing them away, and then collection and then throw them away. I'll kind of show you that here real quick. So I'm going to start with just throwing her away. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to collect her a little bit. Throw her away. And I'm going to collect her a little bit. I'm going to ask her to stop, give me her face, back up. They might naturally get a little faster when you throw them away. That's not a real big deal, especially if you have a barrel horse. But okay, backing your horse up if they're not used to you using their legs, which again, this horse I've had for some time, but she's still not going to be as good at it as the first horse I used. So when you take a hold of your horse, the first thing you want them to do is give you your face, just like this. Once they start backing up, then you can kind of add a little bit of leg pressure and see how they take that, okay? You just want to ease into it. You want to try to think, what is my horse thinking? Well, if your horse doesn't know to back up when you bump them, then obviously they're going to think they need to rear up in the front end or whatever. But so just ease into it. First, when you ask them to back, ask them how they already know. So if it's by pulling, if that's what your horse knows, then pull. Do that and slowly introduce your legs, just a little bit of squeezing your legs. You don't even have to bump. Just come up here, stop your horse. When you start to back them how they are normally used to it, and then slowly add your legs in there so that your horse starts to learn that bumping your legs or applying leg pressure doesn't necessarily mean to go forward. If you have a hold of them and you're bumping your legs or squeezing them, then that means you want them to go backward. But you have to slowly introduce your legs into that backup and make sure that your horse understands it before you just go to thumping on your horse with your legs in your backup. Okay, so take a hold. And you probably can't see me very well using my legs. I'm not using my legs as hard as I was with the horse in the first video, but I am squeezing my legs here. And when she wants to back up, it's important for your horse to back up straight. So when she doesn't want to back up straight, I got to use my legs and I've got to put her back where she needs to be. Like here, I'm using my left leg and I'm getting her back straight. So anyways, I hope this helps. Just remember, you got to be able to take a hold of your horse's face and them give you your face. And then when you go in for your stop, take a hold of your horse's face, 2 or 3 strides out.